Hey guys, welcome to the Heart of David. I have a few things I want to discuss today, and my back. Please say a prayer for my back. I'm not kidding you. It's pulled all the way, like from, I guess it's called the rhomboids, all the way out right to the edge. Probably maybe from the accident I had, but also because of some of my workout activities just made it worse, so I've been resting. But please say a prayer for that because it's incredibly painful and hard to do this video. So I have three different things I want to discuss. And this video, this screen that you see right here, should make your skin crawl, considering what's happening right now in Texas. I wasn't aware of what was happening in Texas. Like, I heard it a number of days ago. It wasn't that many days ago that they had forest fires, and I thought, it's, this can't be anything compared to Canada. But I just heard not too long ago it was 1.1 million acres. Canada was probably like 60 million acres. It was bigger than Russia's, so it overtook it for number one. Russia was at like 53, so it must be like 60. And so like a million acres is a lot of land. And if my channel gets taken down, it will be because of what I show you right here. I gave you links before, but I wanted to show it in person to show you what I'm showing you is the truth. Someone might say, well, this is just AI or something. No, it isn't. But I'm going to get to that. In just a second. And to tell you the whole story around it. It's very hard to think because of my back. It's like up my neck. And so there are three topics, yes. I made a video. I can't remember if it was my last one or not. You know the one I did about the weather? About the, I put up the picture of the video of the derecho that happened here in 2022. That was 2022. And, when you put stuff, people leave. I'm going to answer a comment. I just want to answer a comment that I saw. I didn't want to respond to it because you never know. Could be a narc. Sorry, I hate to say that, but some people do that to disqualify you, and that's what they do. They hide behind different IDs because, that's what they do. But I'm not saying that's what this is. What did the comment said? It said something like, respectfully, you don't know anything about science or something like that. It's constructive criticism. That's okay. What I was saying in the video, so that derecho had nothing to do with the topic that I went on video to discuss. So I've lived here in Ottawa, which is Canada's capital. This is my 46th year. I'm 45, so my 46th year. 45 and a half. Where I live is a really temperate place, and weather fluctuations where I live is normal. Like, you'll have like 15-degree drop within a number of hours. And I've been used to that. I've been used to really hot summer temperatures. Like, it'd get just as hot as any place in the southern U.S. where I live in the summer. And, except for Death Valley or something like that. And in the winter, at least the way it used to be, we just came out of a weather snap that was like maybe 8 or 9 days at, say like minus 15, minus 20. When I was in my teens and 20s, it used to be the minus 40s. That's what it used to be like with wind chill. So I'm used to that. So, what was it? So, what happened was, when I woke up, I heard, lightning and thunder and stuff, and this was in February. It was just the other day. When I grew up, there was never any thunderstorms in February. Those things happen, of course, right? Every once in a while. And if there ever was, it would just be something brief, right? But we're in a cold snap. I wake up, it's, we have a very sharp temperature rise. So it went up to like 15 or 16 degrees. And at 15 or 16 degrees, you don't usually have tornadic weather, okay? You just don't. So that's not the rise I'm talking about. Very breathless, pardon me. So I hear, I see lightning out of the corner of my eye, and it goes right in the middle of my courtyard here. It either hit the gazebo or the flagpole, because that's what it does here in the summer. Very loud, and so I'm like, holy cow, I went to the window and I looked out. The entire skyline was black. And there was tornadoes that came through here a couple years ago and the year before that, right through the city. So at that time of year, no, it's not normal for there to be tornado clouds in, whatever it was, February 27th or 28th. Pardon me. 4 p.m. That was 4 p.m. I went for a walk at 8 p.m. that night. I didn't look at the weather. I didn't look at anything. Can you imagine? You just know it's like tornado weather. It's super warm. I knew nothing about what was going to happen in the weather. I don't generally look outside my window, and I close my blinds a lot. So I went downstairs and I went out the door, and it was negative 12 Celsius from positive 15 Celsius. But not only that, the wind gusts were up to 100 kilometers an hour. The power went out that night. And so you factor that in, and when you have cold temperature, minus 12 would be anywhere from minus 20 to minus 25. That's regular, like where I am. Like for, wind chill, right? So think about that. What I put in the video was, in 4 hours, in February, it changed 27 Celsius. 27 Celsius. That's unheard of where I live. So your comment isn't true. It's never happened. I can't find any information about any fluctuations like that. I lived here all my life, I know. Not only that, it wasn't, so you measured that in Fahrenheit, right? So just imagine this. Realistically, with the wind, it was 37 Celsius. So just imagine, I know a lot of people deal on Fahrenheit and stuff. It just says like 80 degrees or something like that. Just say 80 degrees Fahrenheit. You wake up in the morning, it's like it's 0 degrees. Okay, you wake up at 0 degrees. 4 hours later, it's 37. So you wake up and it's freezing cold. Animals hiding. You leave the door 4 hours later, and like things are drying up. The water's drying up. The birds are like, with their beaks open. That fluctuation has never happened where I live. And I understand that when cold fronts come through, warm fronts and cold fronts come through, I've seen them all. They don't change that much. That was a mega drop. There's nothing right with our weather, and I think most people can probably agree with that. During the summer, when there was all these fires, I just remember there was one night where I went out for a walk, and I went outside, and there was it was literally like there was a campfire right in front of you, or like a fire right in front of you. Not the fire, but the smoke. That's how thick it was. That was just for one day, and it was for other days, but I just remember walking out and seeing all that smoke. And I'm already breathless, as you can tell. Changes all the time, but that's the last thing I wanted. I wanted to show you this because I believe it is proof, but it doesn't tell you what it is specifically, or you can only take your guesses to this. This man's channel, I learned it through a Christian website, and his name is Dutchsinse. He forecasts earthquakes, looks at volcanoes. He looks at satellite images that anyone can look at. You can look forward, backward, day by day. They're recorded, right? This man, I believe, has been tried to be discredited by the government because of his accurate earthquake predictions. And at one point, I believe they made him bow out. That's what I think they did, but it seems to me he's still up here. And after this topic, by the way, I'm going to get into something political. Pay attention to the end. I don't generally bring politics in. You'll see why. It's about abortion, and it's something you may have never heard before, and that's why I bring this up. I think it's worth hearing. I generally don't get in that debate, but I am, I think it's murder, okay? And what you hear in this at the end, just wait till the end. I have enough to deal with in my life, right? With all my different pain disorders, and just I'm waiting for Christ to return. That's it. That's what I know. So all of a sudden, all these, everything's happening at once. Everything, you know what I'm talking about. All biblical signs. And all of a sudden, Canada's on fire. Sure, we've had fires. We've had big fires too. But how is it possible that they're all of a sudden spread out from, we're the biggest border, right, on the states in the world. That's the biggest border of a country. I think it's something like 7,000 miles. But the country is even wider than that, because the border, our country goes past that border. And so to have almost every province on fire, a scientific mind would start thinking of other things. It's not. And I'm going to show you. I felt so angry, and I'm going to bring you also to a Reddit article after this. Reddit, anyone can say anything, but I'm going to prove to you that I believe that it's this video that made the government press down on this guy. Not only does he predict things right, but he's just really good at his job. And once the government and the internet come after you, they'll discredit you very quickly. We all see this. So this is something that really frustrates me, that I've shared this links to so many people. Maybe they've looked, maybe they haven't. But I believe this is the proof. And so when I see on, whatever channels I watch, Canada looking for, I look at the news ticker all the time, right? Well, you know what I mean. I don't generally get into the news a lot, but I look at the ticker every single day. After months of these fires, or Canada looking into what's causing these fires, and and on videos, and here I am like, look at this link, here it is. I don't think what do you need more than this? So I'm going to show you. I believe this happened before Lahaina, did it not? I believe it did. It's always good to question, you know, scientifically in your mind, what could this be? Could this be something else? That's only right to do. But this is one of those times where I think it's blatantly obvious. So, did they make this guy bow out because he indicated that it was like this is a professional, okay? And he puts in his video in a question mark, DEW, directed energy weapon. You'll see why. And so I'm going to show it to you right now. Just know, before I show it to you, that when you see a column of smoke on a satellite scan, for it to show up on satellite, right, like this screen right here, this is North America, man. This is a huge landmass. So for any smoke to show up, it has to be big. So let's take a look. See what's happening here.
The day to day.
And I know the volume's low. That's his video. So check if you can't hear him, and I can't turn the volume up. I've checked. I can't do it. It's up 100%. I'll just look at the captions on the bottom, but you're going to want to pay attention to the screen anyways.
Giant outbreak of fires has taken place across a whole Canadian province all at once. Look up to the northeast, up here in Quebec. All of Quebec just caught on fire all at once on a clear day. I would say this would be some kind of terrorism of some kind or an attack. Here it is. Here we are. I'm going to let the images load. You can see this morning. It's clear. Just partly cloudy skies. Nothing really crazy going on there. And
no clouds.
Well, there's last night. Here's today. All of southeast Quebec just caught on fire, guys. All of it.
Look, you heard what he said.
Insane. Insane. Look at that. The whole thing. All at once. Today. Now, this is on top of Nova Scotia, New Jersey, and the entire western side of Canada burning. All of this up here is smoke. And I'll take you in at the start of there's last night. Look at BC.
Keep watching.
Up here. All of that is smoke. It's whole provinces are burning. The black dots are spots where there are fires. And then this is all smoke here. So this is now BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and now over to the east, you have Nova Scotia and Quebec. All burning at once. Getting back over here again, we're going to look at this again. We're going to see if there's anything else in any
Make sure to watch.
Provinces, but this is phenomenal right there. What? You kidding me? So this looks like it goes over one to the west as well. Here, hold on. Let's just zoom in and show you. Okay, here's Ontario, here's Quebec, here's Manitoba, here's Saskatchewan. I've got fires marked from last week going up along the diagonal.
Remember how big our provinces are, right, compared to your states?
The only thing that I think is missing is Manitoba, Ontario in the middle, and that would put fires all the way across from over here, across Quebec. Again, we have to look in here to see what's going on fire-wise, but then we get over and it would be all of Canada burning, all of it. The only thing missing is over here, and now we are over technically into right at the border of Ontario, so I guess you could include Ontario into that. Let's go and take a look across over to the west.
Do you see that? I think you would have to be, I'm sorry, I have to use the word, you'd have to be silly, you'd have to be stupid to think that all of these just didn't happen at once. Someone set these on fire. That's what happened. Sunny day, no clouds in sight. So what he shows you, look at all this area. That's smoke, by the way. That's smoke you see there. It's not clouds. These are clouds over here. All this is hundreds and there's thousands of kilometers. Sorry, that could be 1,000 kilometers from here to here. Clear. That's like 50 fires. Remember what I said. Quebec is massive. Quebec is the biggest province. I don't know, man. It could be like two Texas. Two size of Texas. Could be. So the question is, what the heck could do that, right? That's out in the wilderness. That's out in the wilderness. Could that be someone out in the woods so we know it's not camping? Yeah. All of us, what would be the coincidence of 50 fires? That's just one small area, by the way, too. I know a lot about war in World War II, especially, where they have time fuse settings. So we know it's not camping. We know it's not regular arson, people on the ground. It just can't be. Look at this.
We're technically in Chew, right at the border of Ontario, so I guess you could include Ontario into that. Let's go and take what's going on firewall. And the open last. What? You kidding me? So this looks like a good.
You hear his response? You think that would come from an expert? There's a reason he has a lot of viewers, because he's very good at reading satellite images and actually predicting earthquakes, but people want to discredit him about it, even though he gets a lot of them correct. In short succession, Lahaina happened, right? Lahaina happened. Look at this. This is arson. And why is it so hard to believe that? Look, we know this scientifically. They've told us there are 8 countries that have directed energy weapons. And why is it so hard to believe that they can put them in space? What do you think they're putting up there? What do you think all these rockets are doing? Satellites, all these different. So that's what I think. I don't know why the people that I send this to, like in the government, won't look at it. I'm sure they have. That's really sad, eh? And so you look at Texas now. This is why God isn't going to put up with this kind of crap. This fire turned out to be like almost 60 million acres. It could have been 60 million acres, because I know it beat out Russia's 53 million acre fire. So they keep telling us these things are going to happen. It's them, guys. Why would they do that? Because they want to blame it on climate change to push their agenda, to make their own money, because they're communist. There's nothing more to that. So there's no, they're just drowning us out. So I'm going to go to the next topic, because I've literally, if you want to get to this, I'm not going to leave a link. I'm just going to tell you the channel. It's called Dutchsinse. And if you want to find this exact one, type in Dutchsinse fires. It's probably flagged too. So I don't want to leave a link because of that. Dutchsinse fires. Does a lot of good stuff. So I'll get to my next thing. One thing I hate more than anything is conspiracy theories. But when I see stuff like that right in front of my face, what the heck? Were those birds with lighters? If I ended up getting teenager, man, whatever, getting a woman pregnant, I probably wouldn't have dealt with it well. I just probably wouldn't have. And who knows, maybe I would have done that without even thinking. But I know now. When I was born again, like I was reading the Bible before then and studying, but like I really into it, and I have been. And I realize what Scripture says. I understand the demonic fight going on, what it really means. It's a stupid argument. Like this is gonna tell you something you may have not seen before. I didn't know this. John Kennedy is trying to make a case, even though the people that he's questioning aren't there for that reason. He's still trying to trap them in a box in some way. Anyways, I don't watch a lot of politics. When I do, like I tell you guys, I don't. I used to be really into politics. If I go on a walk, come back, I'm doing dishes or something, sure, I'll hit this, I'll start watching this. And then I did that and I saw this. I'm like, wow. After I was born again, I realized just how bad it is, just how many babies they've killed. And when you know about the Canaanites and the Amorites, and the reason why God had to wipe them out was because they were passing children through the fire. Their time wasn't up yet. Israel trying to come into the land, their time wasn't up. That's why they were still in Egypt. But this is murder, man. There are doctors saying, they try to get into the argument that a placenta, whatever they're saying, fetus isn't anything that's formed, is a baby. Anything that's formed after the sperm goes in is conception, man. That's what I believe. And because I believe in God, obviously that's much more reinforced. Seriously, protection. I'm not kidding. Like, you can't kill something. And listen to this. This is brutal. This is probably something new you haven't. Maybe you have. Maybe you do know this, but I didn't. This might make you feel sick. I didn't know this. Let's just watch. He does a good job for doing this too.
You're using really inflammatory language to talk about a medical procedure, and it's not a simple yes or no. Not to mention, when you make statements like that, you're erasing the grief and the trauma that my patients are going through.
You're not going to answer my question either, are you?
It's not a question that
I
can
think
be answered
I think I know
in an
your
appropriate
answer.
way,
I think I know your answer. Mrs. Ford, okay? Let's take a baby at 21 weeks. Hold up, Mike.
This is 21 weeks.
21 weeks, okay? The baby can feel pain, right?
Yes.
And the baby's pretty developed, right?
Yes.
And do you know the name of the procedure that the doctor would?
Tell me. I don't know the answer. What is this whole abortion argument about in terms of how many weeks, this, that, and the other? I don't know that answer. But if that's 21 weeks, that's a baby. That's a human being right there.
Would use to abort that baby at 21 weeks?
I'm not a doctor, but I believe it's a DNR,
It's called dilation and evacuation. Is that right?
as far as I understand, yes.
Yeah. And first, the doctor would dilate the cervix, and then the doctor would take what's called the doctor would call it a Sofer clamp. It's really a pair of pliers with sharp teeth on the end. And without giving the baby any pain medication, the doctor would go through the vagina, through the uterus, and start tearing the baby apart. Is that right?
As far as I understand the procedure.
Yeah, and she might start with the legs and pull them out and the arms.
Do you hear that? That's the first time I ever heard that. A plier that has teeth on the end of it. They don't give the baby any pain control. That's a human being. To a lot of people, that's what they call sacrifice. That's brutal, guys. I hadn't thought of it in this way because I didn't know this.
Arms and pull them out, right? And then she might go for the heart or the spine and just pull the baby out piece by piece. Is that right? Without giving the baby pain medication.
You can see her face.
I understand the procedure to be.
Okay, but then you got to get the head out. The baby's dead, but maybe not. Maybe it's still in pain. But then you got to get the head out. And even with the cervix dilated, you got to get the head out, which is hard. So then the doctor would go in and use those pliers to crush the baby's head. Is that right?
As far as I understand.
And then she'd pull the head out, the crushed skull out, right?
Senator Kennedy, your time has expired here.
Well, you
and
gave
Senator Stabenow
the
is
others
waiting.
plenty of time, Mr. Chairman.
Just letting you know, your time's expired. You have
Okay.
other senators waiting.
Well, I was waiting when you were letting others. I'm sorry you don't want to hear about what happened.
No, I don't think anybody
And
else
That's
is
a
going
worthy
over.
topic.
Anybody
But
else
I
has gone
thought that
over.
was what we were here to talk about.
No one else has gone over.
Is-
Some of the witnesses went a little bit long, but on both sides, so.
I don't know. Have you heard of that before? Put it in the comments section because I hadn't heard that. That puts a new spin on this. I guess I'm going to have to look what babies look like at every single week. I don't know, man. Like, you know, if that were to happen today and somehow I got, you know, a woman pregnant, I would never do that. I would never abort. I just couldn't do it. Knowing what I know now. But that's a video for today. Yeah, I'm putting this out tomorrow. I'm not putting this out today. I'm not well. I don't know if you've ever put out your back, but it's like the muscles attached to my spine. It's like the scapula, you know, like the wing of your back. It's on the top part of it, all along the top shoulder blade, and it's on the bottom part, like maybe like that far underneath the scapula, on both sides, all the way to the edge, like top all the way out to the side, and about halfway down my back, all the way out to the side. So I don't know. I may have to go to the hospital, but I've been trying to do it myself first to see. I'm just not well. Please say a prayer. Please say an inflammation prayer. I'm not kidding you. Yeah, I haven't taken any inflammation medication because I purposely not taking that stuff for personal reasons. But anyways, God bless. Thanks for watching. There's some pretty, I don't know, pretty damning evidence in there that I see. And I can see why the government went after that man.